Hi guys, welcome to Mind Speak series. I'm Rancy Lilianeta and I'm with Jean Malyari, Carissa Pascual, and Marie Toledos. And today we will talk about psych assessment. So what is psych assessment? Psych assessment is a broad concept. It's hard to cover everything about it. So in order to learn more about psych assessment, we invite a guest speaker. So to introduce our guest speaker, let's welcome Miss Wilma Rodil. So a little bit of background lang for Miss Wilma is that Miss Wilma is a registered psychometrician who is currently living in Lukso in Silang, Cavite. She currently works as a guidance counselor at Infant Jesus Academy. So she studied Bachelor of Arts in Psychology at Philippine Normal University and she graduated in 1987. So to start this discussion, I asked Miss Wilma about her licensure experience and some of his organizational experience. And here is some of the clips that we have.
Oo, ano yun, di ba nagkaroon tayo ng mga Magna Carta, so yung Father's Laws. So hindi nung nakikita ako no sa sa guidance and counseling kasi hindi ko ini-apply yon. So parang sa akin okay lang kung walang license no kasi nag-apply ako for LPT kaya lang ang hirap talaga mag-ayos ng mga papers. So naayos ko naman and then nung magkaroon din ng Magna Carta for counseling, parang wala lang, hinayaan ko lang. Kaya ayoko na naman mag-exam, So I'm already 53, baka wala nang pumasok sa akin. So nung magkaroon ng chance dito sa psychometrician, tinry ko lang naman. Sabi ko kung mabigyan ng pagkakataon, okay, kung hindi. Basta nag-forward lang ako ng mga documents and it was really a blessing na dun sa first batch ng psychometrician, na-approve naman ako. So parang it was in 2013 yung first batch of psychometrician. So doon ako napasama. Active member ako dito sa PGCA Cavite. Kasi under yun ng sa Imus or sa Lasal. Pero ang karaniwang mga officers ay from De La Salle din dyan, sina Madam Pinky, sina Dr. Camarce, and then member din ng PGCA at saka ng Psychological Association of the Philippines.
So how about you, Jean? Can you give us a brief explanation about your conversation with Ma'am?
The company Infant Jesus Academy of Silang Incorporated is an educational institution. It was formerly known as Infant Jesus Academy or IJA and was established on June 4, 1945. That being said, the academy is now in their 75th year of service. With an approximate number of 65 employees, it has undergraduates of less than 1,000. While the school doesn't have any branches, it is affiliated with CISAA and DICES. Our honorable interviewee, Ms. Wilma Emeril, a licensed professional teacher and a registered psychometrician, has been with Academy as a guidance counselor for 34 years now. In line with psychological assessments, the institution procures their psychological test from either Philippine Psychological Corporation or St. Louis University.
To add with that, here's some few clips of Jean's interview with Ma'am.
Usually naman kinikater namin ay all our students, high school students, and ngayon mayroon ng junior and senior high school, and then teacher applicants, and then mga personnel. Minsan sinasabi rin namin ng clients, pero we are more at ease to use sino yung mga namin usually the applicants. These are the applicants, students and teachers. When I entered the school no in IJE in 1987, parang hindi na siguro I was a bit surprised na yun din ang ginamit namin when I was still a student in IJA. So siguro that was also the reason why I was a bit motivated to take up psychology kasi when I was in high school, siguro no sabihin ko na establish na rin yung guidance noon. So kasi 'di ba wala naman talagang licensure pa. So we call ourselves as guidance counselor. So wala pa ng psychometrician kaya noon may mga guidance counselors na per year level. And then nakita ko rin na talagang ang pagdating, hindi ko naman alam kung ano yung tinatawag sa mga psychological test. Basta yung mga counselors namin, they used to give us tests, no, different kinds of tests. Pero these are not teacher-made tests, talagang standardized tests. Kaya nung na-encounter ko rin nung nag-aaral na ako sa Philippine Normal College, and then nung bumalik ako sa IJA as one of the personnel, yun din ang ginamit namin na sa mga bata. Hindi naman yun na-obsolete bigla. So may mga testing na ina-update pero ganun din naman halos ang laman, no? May konti lang. So during that time, I already encountered the IQ test at saka yung aptitude test and the evaluation of teachers. And then noong pumasok na ako sa IJA as a person, as an guidance counselor, nadagdagan na lang pero ginamit ko rin namin yung mga testing na yun. So we have this IQ test, achievement test, aptitude test, interest test, and then long before we had this personality test, no, for the students and teacher applicants. Pero siguro for more than 10 years hindi na kami gumagamit ng personality test kasi unang-una wala na kaming answer sheet kasi yung answer sheet i-purchase pa namin sa Psych. Hindi ko sigurado, no, kasi there was a seminar or a meeting, hindi ko na matandaan, pero long time ago, na nasabi ng Psych, hindi na daw pwedeng mag-purchase ng mga materials doon. Or parang hindi pala sa hindi magpa-purchase ng materials, but we cannot own the materials. Ang mangyayari, they will be the one to give the test, and then they will be the one to check and interpret. Hindi na namin yung ginamit kasi hindi na kami makakapag-purchase sa Psych. So, hindi na kami nakapagbigay ng personality test. But the rest of the test, na ibibigay pa rin naman namin. And then, nakapag-purchase pa rin kami ng ibang set of test pero sa ibang companies na. So, yung purpose noon, for example, yung IQ test, no, unang-una, gusto lang namin ma-assess, no, gaano ba kahusay din yung mga bata in terms of intelligence. Kasi, yung mga results kasi ng kanilang mga test, we discussed it during the individual counseling. Pero kasi ngayon hindi na ginagamit ang counseling, especially if you are not a licensed guidance counselor. So we call it as a session or interview session, no? So yun ay we discussed it to them kasi nanghihinayang kami sa mga bata. Ang taas ng IQ, for example, they have above average IQ or average IQ, and then pag tinignan mo yung mga grades nila nasa line of 7, kaya naman nasa line of 8, parang hindi sila nagmamatch, no? So we are trying to motivate them na they are potential students, kaya lang ewan po kung ito ay meron din kayong ganitong parang ano ba yun, pagtingin na okay na kapag ka nakapasa, okay na pag naka 75. So maraming estudyante hindi lang iilan. Maraming estudyante ang may ganong kaisipan na kung makakuha sila ng 75, masaya na sila Hindi man kontento pero masaya na, at least nakapasa. And we would like to dwell to those kind of students na parang kung pwede nga lang pukpukin, no, na kaya nyo pang maging mahusay, kaya nyo pang makasama sa cover on top 10 or sa top 10. Yun, one part of motivation. And then how about those with below average or poor? So wala na ba sila? Hindi. So it's also a good thing to know their status para mabigyan din sila ng enough motivation na kahit na sabihin medyo mabagal ang kanilang pag-intindi or hindi ganun ka-please ang kanilang pagbuhat sa mga lessons, no, they can still do better kung talagang sila ay magsisipag or magsisikap sa pag-aaral. At yun ang gusto namin ipamulat din sa mga bata. Why we are giving this IQ test. And then for the achievement test naman, no, siguro for more than 7 years, yung parang sa Psych. Kasi kami, ang school namin ay nasa system na we are under the Diocese of Amos, no. Kung anong mayroon sa diocese, yun din ang ibinababa sa 26 schools na under. Lahat ay private schools naman. Private Catholic schools. So, hindi ko alam kung narinig nyo na yung GRACE, GRACE. So, sila ngayon ang nagbibigay sa amin ng achievement test from grade 7 to grade 12. So they are the ones giving the test, and then the teachers are the ones administering the test, pero under their supervision. So kami mga guidance advocates, kami yung sabihin nating errand or kung may mga kailangan, kami lang yung mga nagpo-provide, no? And then sila ang nag-check, sila ang nag-interpret, at pagdating sa amin sa school, checked and interpreted na. So, we just distribute it to the concerned students through their advisors. But, we are always reminding the advisors to explain, no, the results of the said tests. May sessions kami with the HRAs para ibaba kung paano ipapaliwanag sa mga bata yung interpretation ng tests. May mga summary din na ibinibigay per subject teacher para halimbawa may part doon na ang baba ng mga bata sa grammar. So, it is the teacher's strategies, no, kung paano niya ipo-focus ang kanyang subject in such a way na yung grammar ang kanyang makukuha. So, pag nakita niya under literature, kasi ngayon naman ay nasa na tayo, spiral So, lahat ng mga yun, kung merong American Lit, may Filipino Lit, nakukuha sa sa loob ng isang taon. So, nakakapag-focus ang mga teachers kung ano yung weaknesses ng mga bata so that they will be able to, parang, it's not to excel, pero at least maging mahusay or mas maintindihan. So, that is the purpose of achievement test, no? And then, we have this, yun, sa personality test nga, sayang din, nanginayang kami na wala na kaming personality test. Kaya lang isa, diba, napakahaba namang chikan, ang tagal chikan ng personality test, no? At the same time, we don't have the answer sheets. So, wala kaming personality test na ibinibigay for around 10 years, no? Pero maganda sana na ang mga bata mayroon din nun kasi during the interview na-assess din, no? Na ipapaliwanag din at nagkakaroon din ng parang exchange of ideas tungkol doon sa halimbawa, mukhang mainitin yata ang ulo mo, and then mas nagiging aware ang mga bata tungkol dun sa kanilang personality. And then we have this interest test. So interest test is given to ngayon nagsimula na pala sa grade 7 to grade 10 ang interest test. So, para lang makita namin kung consistent ba ang interest nila from grade 7 to grade 10 or talaga bang every year nababago yung kanilang interest para sa career planning, no? Side by side with the aptitude test. So, yung interest test at saka yung aptitude test, sabay naming tinitignan kung ito ba ay sabihin natin nag-jive ba sila sa isa't isa kasi meron sabihin ay yung lalabas sa interest test ay gusto nilang maging engineer in the future. Pagdating sa aptitude test, ano yan hirap sila pagdating sa computation, especially in math. So, pag nakita yun ng mga bata, parang, will you still be dreaming of becoming an engineer if you have difficulties in mathematics or in computation, even if you are interested? So, pwede namang mangyari yun. Kaya nga lamang, kinakailangan talagang nandun yung iyong motivation, nandun yung iyong parang goal parang to be good in that certain program kasi kahit na interesado ka at ikaw ay hirap sa mga aspects na kinakailangan to become halimbawa an engineer or a doctor, baka hindi ka rin mag-succeed. So kinakailangan, if you are interested, then you have to adjust also at learn kung paano ikaw ay magiging mahusay sa aspects na yon. And then minsan naman, ang husay-husay nila halimbawa sa science, pero ayaw nila pagdating sa sciences, especially when it comes to medical courses, no? So, yun, ipinapaliwanag din namin. And then, from there, minsan nakakaroon ng parang na-awaken sila na, ganun po pala yun. So, parang hindi namin ginugulo ang kanilang career planning, no? But it's just our way of parang paglalatag lang ng lahat ng mga possibilities. But, in the end, kanila pa rin yung decision na yon. Kaya yung pag nakita namin yung kanilang interest at saka yung kanilang aptitude, pagka consistent, walang problema. Talagang parang na lang sige, mas siguro magiging masaya ka or you can be successful in that field. Pero ang mahirap kasi, nag first year ka, ito interest mo, second year biglang nagbago na yung ang lalayo ba ng connection, and same with the aptitude test, no? So mahalaga kasi yun sa career planning yung interest at saka yung aptitude test, no? And then yung ibang factors naman pagdating sa career planning, napag-uusapan na rin yun sa family at saka ng mga teachers. And then we have this also yung evaluation of teachers. So every year, pero there were years na hindi na namin ito na ibigay, no? Pero as much as possible, we would like to become faithful, no, in giving the evaluation of teachers it's not at the end of the school year, at the end of the year. So from June to December, at least December, nakakapagbigay na kami ng evaluation of teachers para kasi matagal nang gawain yon. So pagdating ng April, kung may mga aalis na teachers or sino man yung mariretain, they can have the results of the evaluation, and they can also give, that admin can also give feedbacks regarding the results of the evaluation. So far, yun pa lang. Meron din kaming personality test na binibigay, but that is only for the applicant teachers. Ang online test ay kasi hindi naman kami techie, no? Pero nag-try lang kami mag-online test last May, nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, kasi there were grade 7 and transferees who were not able to take the test the other year. So in 20, kailan ba yun? So 2019 kasi nagbibigay kami October 2019. So yung mga hindi nakapag-test noon, we decided to have this online test. Pero teacher made test na yon. It is not the standardized one. Kasi ang fear namin baka mag-leak din yung exam. So we decided na gumawa lang kami ng test. So wala itong validity kami lang din ang gumawa nito. But that is for the grade 7 applicants only and for transferees. So sa ngayong pandemic, talagang wala kaming naibigay na mga test, mga standardized test sa mga estudyante namin. except for some activities, yung mga webinars, and then ito yung interview, individual interview. But in terms of psychological assessment, wala pa. Wala kaming projective test. Meron sa school, may projective test sa school, pero hindi namin yun ginamit even when I entered in 1987, no? Tititignan din lang namin, dinidiscuss din namin ito nung si Madam Pinky, pero after some time, hindi na rin. Na-encounter ko lang ang projective test in college, no? Kasi sa psychological testing kasama yan. So, wala. At saka, ang alam ko, kailan ba yun? Kasi wala pa akong license noon, no? Ang projective test, pwede ka lang makapag-purchase if you are a licensed guidance counselor. That was during, siguro early in that 2010, mga ganon. Pero ngayong nag-licensure, may license na ako as a psychometrician, hindi ako, ang school ay hindi pa rin nag-recommend to have this kind of projective test. Unang-una kasi, wala rin naman kami sa mga clinics So, kami naman ay nasa school. So, hindi ko, ako personally, hindi ko nakikita na talagang we really need this projective test. Siguro, I would prefer the personality test than the projective tests.
Wow, that's a lot. How about you, Kari?
Good day everyone, I'm Carissa Pascual and today I'm gonna share to you a brief summary of the experiences of our interviewee in her career in relation with the field of psychological assessment. So, Mrs. Wilma Rodil is a guidance counselor at Infant Jesus Academy of Silang for 34 years already. She never considered trying to work in other schools or companies because RJA was very much accessible to her. She travels for only 10 to 15 minutes going to her work and is not tiring at all. Moreover, the most important reason is that she is happy in her entire stay in this work. That is why she never looked for other ventures. According to her, RJA has a very established platform for counseling and guidance reports. It never brought her any problem, and above anything else, being happy and content in one's work matters the most. The start of her journey in her career choice was because of her huge fascination with the course testing and counseling when she was in college. That motivated her in becoming the guidance counselor that she is now. However, she gave us a quick tour of how she ended up taking her degree. Going back to her high school years, career orientation were still not being conducted in any schools. That is why when she had to choose what course she must take in college, she actually did not have any idea aside from the thought that she wanted to be a teacher because her mother is one. Adding to that scenario was that even the mother of her best friend was also a teacher. That coincidence led them both to the idea of being educators just like their mothers. They passed their exams in PNU, but still, she did not have any idea on what specific course to take up. Upon seeing the list of the course offered, psychology was the one that seemed to be different from other choices. That greatly caught her attention and ended up choosing AB Psychology as her specialization. She also rekindled that during her high school years, she wanted to have a work similar to the personals who give guidance programs. From this account, what she considered a lifetime blessing was the time she was in awe for the first time she saw the course psychology. In addition to that, psychological assessment or testing interests the interviewee to a great extent. One aspect that she pointed out is that she enjoys interpreting the test results, especially personality tests, ever since she was still studying. She really finds this endeavor very informative and it provides an awakening factor. Moreover, she reiterated that she enjoys knowing the diverse characteristics of people because it allows them to realize something from within themselves. Whenever she administers IQ tests to students and hands them out has to say words of gratitude. The way her job and passion touch their lives keeps her going. Doing this job in her utmost pays off, and what she gets in return is the improvements and growth from her students that eventually pave their own success in their lives. Indeed, putting her heart in everything that she does reflects her students' own development and seeing her potentials and room for change. So, talking about the interviewee's experience in multicultural assessment, she mentioned that it is indeed important that Filipino-made tests can be made possible. On the other hand, the Western-made tests that their school is currently using already provide new innovations. Those that were originally made from the other countries somehow provide a common ground in the context of our culture. In that way, the results from the students' tests have now been considered as fitted to be used. However, the essence of indigenized tests is needed to be updated. However, the journey of Mrs. Rodil in the field of psychological assessment has undergone radical adjustments as the world was struck by SARS-CoV-2 pandemic, or what is commonly known as COVID-19. Since this pandemic has forced various countries, including the Philippines, to undergo a quarantine or lockdown, it subsequently resulted in the closures of institutions, including schools, in which they have no choice but to shift their learning modes from face-to-face classes to having lectures in an online setting. With the transition to online mode, most of the staffs in IJA, including the interviewer herself, were having a hard time to adapt to sudden changes as they have an insufficient proficiency when it comes to handling technological gadgets, hence leading to the bare minimum chances to administer standardized psychological tests among the students, clients, teachers, and applicants. Consequently, the only tests they were able to provide during this pandemic are online teacher-made tests for screening applicants. However, incoming grade 7 students and transfers were not given screening tests to evaluate their psychological aspects, but instead they were given certain requirements to consider before they could be accepted in the school. Aside from the mentioned reason why the staffs of IGA were not able to conduct psychological tests like we have used to, one thing highlighted by Mrs. Rodil is that they bear the fear of having information leakage, as the internet has a high accessibility rate that could possibly lead to an easier access to the data that will be stored if ever they manage to provide psychological tests through an online platform. Despite the compromises brought by COVID-19 pandemic, the IJA maximized every opportunity at hand to ensure that the mental health of every students, teachers, and other staff of the school are not at stake. The school conducts webinars and programs in which they coordinate with different professional speakers to teach everyone, both the students and parents, an independent learning strategies, ways on how to take care of their mental health, and mechanisms to cope up with the challenges induced by the pandemic. Aside from that, they also provide one-on-one interview sessions with the students to constantly check up on the status of their mental health as well as the other facets in their life as students.
Wala naman kasi gawa ng rapport no? Ang mga bata naman, kapag alam nila ang mga gagawin, kapag nakuha mo na yung kanilang attention, madali nang magbigay Ang mahirap lang kasi sa checking, kasi hindi kami hindi kami techie, yung mga nasa guidance office ngayon, except for one na medyo bata-bata, siya yung mahusay. Kaya lang, hindi rin namin alam na, sabi ko nga, how I wish, yung mga pag-check na ito ng mga psychological test, pwedeng gamitin na ang computer para mas maging mabilis. Kasi ang alam ko, ang Jose Rizal University, doon sa ewan ko yung minsan sa seminars, ganun ang ginagawa nila eh, sa mga psychological test, computerized na. Kaya ang bilis nila makapag-check, makapag-interpret. Yun ang siguro, okay lang sa akin yung manual, pero kung meron pang ibang ways on how we can check and interpret it easier, siguro mas okay. And then when it comes to writing of reports, kasi pagka yung usually kasi pinagsasabay-sabay namin ang pagbibigay ng psychological test, let's say in a month or two, para sabay-sabay na rin ang checking in an interpretation, and then the following months makakapag-concentrate na kami sa kumustahan or individual session with the students and other activities. Kaya yung 2 months na yon, talagang minsan parang ninenervyos ako, paano ko bang tatapusin to, paano ko ba i-interpret at gagawan to ng report. Pero na unti-unti naman eh, basta may system ka lang kung paano gagawin. Ayun.
So, are there any experience po na about sa or regarding po sa multicultural assessment? And how did you adapt with it in terms of administration, scoring, interpretation, and report writing?
Sa akin naman wala eh. Kasi yung kanina nabanggit ko na rin, no, yung mga psychological test ay usually usually naman America sa US eh, no. Pero yun lang naman halos ang parang nagkaroon kami ng difficulty. Pero sa mga hindi ko alam kung kailan nagsimula yung SLU, nagkaroon na rin ng parang innovations, no? Pagdating sa mga psychological test. At mukhang yung ibang mga psychological test from other countries, medyo bumaba na rin ang kanilang mga ba tawag doon? Marie, tulungan mo nga ako. So, di ba, mag-check ka, mag-interpret ka. So, you have this raw score, STA9, percentiles, yan, yung mga ganon. So, meron na silang parang yung sa validation, mas nakakababa na sila sa iba't ibang kultura, iba't ibang nasyon. So, hindi katulad ng mga naunang mga psychological test na talagang parang ang taas-taas, na parang ang hirap makaabot para ikaw yung maging average. Ngayon, hindi na. Talagang parang nasa Philippine culture na rin ang kanilang yun, yung mga results. Alam niyo, sa totoo, wala pa kaming nagagawa during this pandemic when it comes to ano yung pwede naming ibigay, ma-search sa psychological test. Unang-una kasi, ako ay hindi techie. Hindi ko alam kung paano mag-put up o put in ba, kung ano man ang tawag doon, ng mga test materials. At isa sa mga fears ko, magkaroon ng leakage. Kaya for this school year, itong pandemic, wala kaming mga psychological test na ibinibigay sa mga bata, sa mga clients, and even for the teacher applicants, no? So, kung mayroon man kaming ginagawa, it's just a matter of giving them webinars, programs na online, at the same time, yun ng individual na kumustahan sa kanila. Yun yung webinars. So, kasi nakikipag-coordinate kami, limawa sa DCHES. We ask permission if we can have speakers or kung pwede kami makitie up sa kanila pagdating sa mga webinars. So, paano tutulungan yung mga independent learners, yung mga learning coaches and parents, at kahit itong mga children of OFW, at saka mga OFW parents, yun ang mga ibinibigay namin na mga webinars on mental health. So kasi ngayon talaga namang hirap ang mga bata to cope up no? Unang-una, yung social aspect, napakalaking bagay na nawala. So, iba pa rin yung sila ay napukwentuhan ng personal rather than dito sa screen lang, no? So, yung webinars, palagay ko, no, malaking bagay to inform them ano yung mga strategies na pwede nilang gawin during this pandemic para maalagaan ang kanilang mental health, and then what are the uh, mechanisms to cope up, no, so sa during this pandemic, and then ano ba yun, so basta halos doon nakafocus. At hindi lang kami sa mga students, so pati ang mga magulang kasama na rin, at saka yung mga guardians nila.
So, aside po sa school setting, meron po ba kayong any experience of online assessment? And if meron po, how did you adopt with it in terms of administration, scoring, interpretation, and report
Ano,
writing?
wala kaming standardized test na online. Pero yun yung nabanggit ko kanina na noong it was in May last year when we decided to have this online test, teacher-made test, no, for the applicants. And then madali lang kasi sa Google din lang naman ito no. Pero ngayon, itong pandemic na ito din, itong no school year, wala na talaga kaming ginawa na online testing. So sabi nga namin, with the admin, we will not be giving any entrance test to the incoming grade 7 and transferees, but there are requirements to consider, no, bago sila ma-accept.
Madam Rodil also shared with us parting words of inspiration, the important qualities a professional must have, opportunities and challenges that we can look forward to, and her recommendations for psychology majors that would want to pursue psychological assessment in the future. Here it is.
If you are if you are really decided in that program, and if you are really motivated to be in that program, I think you will be happy in the future. Kinakailangan lamang na you have to leave that fire, no, na gusto ko to, kaya hanggang saan man ako makarating, ito ang aking gagawin, no? Kasi ang mahirap ngayon, no, at ito nakuha ko rin sa isa sa mga seminars, itong mga millennials, you keep on exploring for 5 years after your graduation. Parang hindi kayo makalis sa inyong upuan at hahanap pa uli kayo ng ibang matatrabaho, ng ibang job opportunities, no? Ang sa akin, parang it is also good, no, na parang namnamin na mabuti the kind of job that you have in your first, second, or third years, no? Kasi doon nyo rin lang naman malalaman if you are really meant for that kind of job. Kasi kung yung sa first year nakita nyo, ay, ayoko ng ganitong trabaho, lilipat na lang ako sa iba, parang wala kayong mahihirapan kayo na makita kung ano talaga yung gugustuhin niyo sa sarili niyo. Parang it's a good thing to parang to test yourself na patagalin muna for some years kayo sa trabaho. And then after some years, let's say naka 3 years kayo at you are not really happy in that kind of work or position, then that might be the right time para sabihin, I will look for another job. I will look for another kind of work. Kasi halimbawa, nasa school setting kayo, ganito pala ang trabaho ng psychometrician for the first year. Ay, ayaw ko na. Gusto ko mas mag-explore pa. So, lilipat kayo sa isang clinic. Ayaw ko pala sa isang clinic. Gusto ko sa isang company. Okay lang na may mga ganong, parang you can compare these things, no? Pero kasi minsan hindi nyo pa talaga na-explore mabuti. Minsan kasi kung kailan nasa medyo huli-huli ng konti, doon yung mararamdaman na, ay, sayang pala, no, sana nag-grab ko yung mga ganong pagkakataon. Kasi meron akong experience dyan, no, it was also a sharing na parang ganun ang nangyari, nagpalipat-lipat siya, pero bumalik uli siya sa doon sa kauna-unahan niyang naging trabaho. Parang in-explore din niya, pero nang hinayang din kasi sayang din yung years of service eh. So yun din siguro ang tignan nyo, yung you have to to keep the kind of service that you want. Kasi yung service, yung first year nyo, second year, third year, fourth year, 5 years dun sa isang company, that is already counted. O those are counted. So, pagdating nyo ng inyong, halimbawa, retirable age na kayo or nearly retiring, parang hindi nyo agad maaabot yun kasi nagpunta kayo sa iba't ibang companies at hindi rin nagamit yung mga years of service na yun. Masasayang yung mga ganong pagkakataon. So, it is always good to explore first and then kung talaga nakita nyo na you are not meant, no, to be in that place, to be in that kind of job, then probably pwede kayo na lumipat o mag-explore.
Lucky for us, we have Mrs. Wilma, who has shared her knowledge about psychometry, psychology, and guidance counseling, and also some wisdom in life. And what I learned today is that being a psychometrician requires a lot of skills. Hence, you need to undergo different training and licensure exam. According to Ma'am Wilma, if you see an opportunity for training, you have to grab it. And I think that is the most important lesson that I learned today. So, how about you guys?
Walking a path with no clear guidance or model is a feat that requires a daring and bold attitude. More so with the ability to have a reservoir for a bundle of nerves. As such, it is highly reassuring and enlightening to have an example or a reference. And to say that the interview we have been a part of was enlightening would be an understatement. As a psychology student who wants to take the psychometrician exam in the future, Ms. Wilma's insights and experiences that she had shared with us have truly left an impression on me. With regard to the profession, I'm still not too sure if I want to pursue in my career is in line with the field of psychological assessment. However, with the interview, it gave me a glimpse of a world that I'm still not so sure about, thus igniting curiosity in me. Furthermore, it gave me a push to not only do better, but to succeed in the field that I will choose in the future. To succeed not because of the sense of pride that it would give me, but because I truly enjoy what I do. Furthermore, from her enthusiasm, I was reminded of a knowledge that stayed with me from a subject I took before, positive psychology, wherein it was said that a life of happiness is a life with meaning. As such, from how I saw that she takes value in what she does and that she gives meaning to her work, I realized that it is that very attitude which I want to embody in the future.
Having knowledge on psychological assessment is an eminent asset that opens opportunities to know yourself and even people around you, whether you're close associates or acquaintances. It allows you to evaluate one's personality, intelligence, aptitude, career orientation, behavior, affect, and the like, as you administer and interpret each test respectively. However, gaining expertise and familiarity from an individual who has a personal experience in relation with the said career marks a huge difference than merely learning the know-hows of the field from lectures and books. This may not be an in-depth interview regarding the technical details of psychological assessment, but I got to see the heart of it, its eminence beyond what is written in the book or what is discussed during lectures, and that is the use of psychological assessment and the role of professionals in the said field has the means to open doors for new opportunities to every people, as it has the prowess to leave an enormous impact on the lives of each individual, as it could be a means to transform their lives in its highest form of utility through giving them the knowledge about themselves.
Indeed, this interview was very informative and inspirational. With that, allow me to read the short insight that I have gained from this conduct. Aside from the principal knowledge on this field that she had imparted to us, her life experiences immensely gave me something to fuel my love and passion for this field. What she has shared to us, albeit school-based, introduced concepts that I also gained from studying this course, and it expanded in a way that I have seen how this application of psychological assessment branched out to how a single paper and pencil exam can change a person's life direction. Indeed, a person who seeks to venture out in this path must need to be equipped with proper knowledge on test administration and interpretation, building rapport, confidentiality, and the like. Just as how the interviewee emphasized these matters, the same goes on the matter of a personal take on this subject matter. Having a beyond satisfactory knowledge with regard to the concepts that deal with psychological assessment and testing is not complete without a heart burning with passion in dealing with various people. Such is the complementary keys in being an effective and purposeful professional in this field.